Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us. It's truly a joyous day. My name is Amy Van Ling, and it is my joy. My heart is overflowing with gratitude to be here with you each week, sharing an inspired experience. I am the spiritual director here at Unity Inspired Living, where we welcome you into our community. And our purpose is to really create a safe environment for everyone to grow, heal, expand in recognizing your true essential nature, your higher holy self, I like to call it, which is loaded and coated with the blueprint of divinity of God, and you are here to be the face of God in the world. And so thank you for tuning into this space where you can nurture that soul nourishment here. And you will discover every week that we have a dynamic variety of thought leaders and remarkably talented musicians who share their musical gifts and magical sound healing with us on Sunday mornings. We really tune into that sound healing through music here, and it's all inspiring. We truly are many voices, all of us coming together, sharing inspiration and cultivating life transformation, however that looks in everybody's life individually and then collectively. So we're tuning into love, the love within, so we can pour it out. And we are so grateful that you are here blessing us with your presence. And even though you're not here on the screen, on the live stream screen, you are here. You are here on the feed, on the live stream. And even if you're watching the replay, you are part of the co-creation here. And we're so grateful. We're so grateful because our energy co-creates a space of love and inspiration and unity. And we get to share that out into the world. And that is exciting. It is a blessing for us to be here alive for another mystical Sunday with you. Thank you for saying yes. Hi, John. John Shin is here. Welcome in. One of our wonderful musicians. Hi, Nan. Nan is here. Jennifer's here. She says, happy Sunday, beautiful beings of love and light. Yes, I affirm all of it. So grateful. So I am sharing the screen today with some incredible human beings. Fred is not on yet, but he will be on soon. He is he's coming in. He texted me. He's zooming in very soon, and he's our speaker today. He is a powerfully potent presence on the planet, and he really demonstrates this God essence in so many ways. So we're always grateful when he gives us a sacred yes. And he's a very busy guy, and that's why he's coming in a little later this morning. And also a very dear friend to me. And I can say I don't know the specifics of his talk today, but what I can tell you in alignment with our theme of the month, Journey with Jesus, is that Jesus's timeless message of unconditional love and living life with a deep connection to God, to source, is something that Fred knows well about, and he walks his talk, so to speak. So there will not be a workshop today with Fred. However, our Zoom link, our connection, our community connection Zoom link is always open there for you to tune into. So feel free to jump in there, and there may be one other person, there may be 10 other people. So that space is always there for you. Welcome in, Nan. She says, happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes, I have my green. Kathy says, good morning. Welcome. Jennifer says, so excited to be with you, precious Amy, Kalyani, and Pat. We are excited to be with you today, this beautiful day. So we are so blessed to have Kalyani Marsh of Circle Up Music. She is gifting us with her dynamic and divine essence, her beauty, her magnificence. We're so grateful when you say yes to share your time and your heart and your magic with us, dear one.
Thank you, Amy.
For Yes, thank you for radiating your beautiful light to us and giving yourself in such a beautiful way. And we also have our beautiful, wonderful Pat. She's here shining her light this morning, bringing the abundance of her heart and soul to us, sharing our selected inspirational reading this morning, which is her personal share today. So that's exciting. Some community announcements and our prayer of plenitude. So she's creating our fertile ground for God's bounty to be felt and received. So thank you, Pat, for saying yes and being here. And you're still on the screen. So I know when we came into the space with technology, sometimes gives us some notes on the screen where we're like, what?
Right.
Still here? So that was great.
That?
We didn't have to scramble and do something different. So thank you for being here. And thank you everyone tuning in on the live stream on the feed. This is really a place of connection and a sacred exchange here. So thank you for participating in this co-creation. And so we welcome you in. We welcome you into this sacred space this morning. Let me just check real quick back here and see. Michael J is here. He says, it's a beautiful afternoon, Grand Rising. Yes, yes, yes. Kara's here. Welcome, beautiful souls. I'm so grateful to be communing in this space with you this morning. Welcome to the Inspired Living family. If you're here, your family. We love you. We embrace you. We welcome you with open hearts and open arms. And we invite you to be with the truth and peace of your divine nature here. And we want you to know how grateful we are that you are here. Our theme this month is Journey with Jesus. And Fred is here. Welcome in, Fred. And I'm wearing my green today, friends, representing my deep Irish roots. My father's side of the family had moved to New York some moons ago from Cork, Ireland. So St. Patty's Day always felt like a global holiday in my family. It's like everybody celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So, but beyond the festivities and the green, there is a deeper essence rooted in the spiritual awakening and renewal of St. Patrick, especially this time of year with renewal symbolizing the power of faith and courage and perseverance. He had a journey, and I gather that it was a journey with Jesus from, as the story goes, from captivity to enlightenment, leaving a profound reminder that, within every perceived challenge lies an opportunity for growth and spiritual evolution for us. So may this St. Patrick's Day inspire us to embark on our journeys of inner discovery and transformation, illuminating the world. So today we're going to actually close with the Irish blessing. So hopefully you'll stay tuned for that at the close of our morning here. So divine light beings, I love you. I see you. It's snowing beautiful. Oh, because you are in Michigan, Michael J. It is not snowing here in Greenville, and I doubt it's snowing there in California, where you guys are in the area. But the snow is beautiful. Yes, yes. Wonderful. Okay, so step yourself into this sacred space. Take a breath of the spirit, lean into our purpose, which is to be a safe environment for all people to consciously explore their spiritual path, which I say is your life path. Recognize your oneness with God and gain inspiration, insight, and wisdom to pour out and share with the world. So thank you for journeying with us. Part of this spiritual pilgrimage is being together in community. So we are going to open now with our community song. And this is a space where I encourage you to sing along, because singing is such a quick way to connect to your heart, to open your heart, to open your throat chakra, and really just get vibration felt and energy moving. So thank you, Kalyani. I'm sharing the screen over to you right now.
Thank you, Amy. I'm so happy to be with you all. I thought it would be a nice opportunity to share some Aramaic chants today because of this theme and this just ongoing appreciation for what these chants are helping me to connect. And don't worry if you're not saying the words perfectly, but the words for the first line of the Aramaic Lord's Prayer is a wound de wash Maya. A wound de wash Maya. Ah, feel it in the heart, birthing through the lips, and then feeling it in the belly. A wound de wash Maya, which is referring to what we know it from the King James Version as our Father who art in heaven, but it's actually more correct would be divine parents. Like we're allowing divine parenting to come into our being, and so that we can share divine parenting, the energy of that with others. And so we're just opening the top of the head to receive unconditional love, unconditional acceptance, and light as we sing this. And I have an English translation, which is, I surrender and let it be. I surrender to what's always true. I allow the light of love to shine within me. And I'll go back and forth between the Aramaic and the English. Here we go. Awunde washamaya. 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 I surrender and let it be. I surrender to what's always true. I allow the light of love to shine within me. I surrender and let it be. I surrender to what's always true. I allow the light of love to shine within me. I surrender and let it be. I surrender to what's always true. I allow the light of love to shine within me. Awunde washamaya. 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 I surrender and let it be. I surrender to what's is true. I allow the light of love to shine within me, to shine within me, to live within me.
Wow, that was absolutely tremendously beautiful. Thank you so much
A
for
good
that
way to
opening.
start.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes, indeed. So grateful for
Start
you.
with
And
divine parenting. Thank you.
yeah, how
Let's
beautiful
receive
is
it.
that? Thank you, dear one. We appreciate. Okay, Pat, I'm going to hand the screen over to you for our announcements and our reading. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you, Kalani. That was, whew, I'm still feeling that. Okay, let's begin with a few announcements. Much gratitude to Karen Mingus for hosting our March 16th Community Circle and Potluck yesterday. And I also want to give a big shout out to Ron for leading us in the circle. That was amazing to talk about our experiences with Jesus. So thank you, Ron. And we had a lot of fun too. So that was a great experience. Again, and a big thank you to all who attended our in-person annual meeting on the first Sunday in March in person. The big news is that we have changed our name and are now Unity Inspired Living. You can still reach us at our former website or by going to Inspired Living at unityinspiredliving.org. And a huge heartfelt thank you to all who are contributing to support the Van Ling Family Fund each month. Much love and gratitude to all. Also, if you have not done so already, we would like to invite you to consider setting up your monthly contribution commitment to our community. Perhaps sending it automatically monthly versus Zelle or PayPal or check. It is your contributions that provide the revenue for speakers and musicians, our spiritual director, our rental space, our storage unit, our celebrations, and all the other activities we offer each month. We are so very, very grateful for all you give and how you bless us with your time, talents, and treasures. And thank you all for keeping your calendars up to date and for your participation in all our activities. Consider inviting a friend to join you. Blessings and have a wonderful week. And now for our inspirational reading. And it is something I wrote called Jesus Saved My Life. In my late 20s and early 30s, my husband and I led encounter groups in an organization called Creative Initiative. It was an educational religious foundation that studied the works of Jesus and other world religions. We studied the book Jesus as Teacher by Henry Burton Sharman, PhD, published in 1935, which was a scholarly work of the teachings of Jesus after comparing various versions of the Bible and without the information the church added later. Why am I saying here that Jesus saved my life? Actually, it's really that Jesus is saving my life over and over. One of his teachings that I remember so well from my late 20s and I apply to my life is, quote, resist not evil, unquote. Matthew 5, verses 38 to 40, quote, but I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, give him thy cloak also, unquote. This passage is so often misinterpreted. It does not mean we are to be doormats. It means that we do not return in like. If we feel someone harms us, we don't harm them back. It also means that whatever we might want to resist or get rid of, respond versus resist. Be creative. Beneath this teaching are the laws of wholeness and oneness. Seeing something as negative is only our opinion and not the truth. The truth is everything is whole, even though we may only see the negative part of it. Our consciousness has yet to see the positive part. Quote, resist not evil, quote, kept me sane when our son Matt was critically injured when he was 4 years old. Resist not evil reminds me to respond rather than resist. Be open, curious, creative. Look for wholeness and to consider life situations as learnings. I'll close with a quote from T.J. Woodward. Quote, authentic spirituality rejects nothing, accepts everything, unquote. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. That was beautiful, a beautiful share and a nice quote to leave us with. Some germinate, rejects nothing. Thank you for you. We appreciate you. Okay, I'm handing the screen back to Kalyani for our next song this morning. Thank you, dear.
All right. We're going to continue with this theme of the Aramaic Jesus, the Aramaic chanting. And this melody is from Neil Douglas Klotz, who is a big inspiration for me, as far as in being a musician as well. So this is where the Archangel Gabriel comes to Mary and says, guess what? You're going to give birth to Christ. And so this is usually understood as, there's a different King James version, but the actual message in Aramaic, the deeper meanings, is peace be with you, Mary. You are complete in blessed ripeness. There is light within and all around you. Blessed are you, along with all of humanity. So we can sing this chant as a greeting from our soul telling us, we've got this. We've got what it takes. We have everything we need for the journey. And this message is coming from the source. So we can surrender to our life journey. So, Shlama, Laki, Mariam, Shlama. Peace be with you, Mary. Shlama, Laki, Mariam, Shlama. And, I'm going to throw in some English there, and you just can sing. I'm going to repeat each line 3 times. I think I'm going to start with the Aramaic and then go into English. So light is within and all around you. We are a blessing. We are blessed. I think we need this message personally. I could use this message from my soul. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Wait, I don't need a capo for that. That's the next. Shlama laki Mariam shlama shlama laki Mariam shlama. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Peace, peace, peace be with me. Melitai Buddha Maranem Ki. Melitai Buddha Maranem Ki. Light is within and all around you. Light is within and all around you. Barita Vinasha Barita Vinasha. We are a blessing and we are blessed. Shlama laki Mariam shlama shlama laki Mariam shlama. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Melitai Buddha Maranem Ki. Melitai Buddha Maranem Ki. Light is within and all around you. Marita Vinasha. We are a blessing. Marita Vinasha. We are blessed. Shlama laki Mariam shlama shlama laki Mariam shlama. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Melitai Buddha Maranem Ki. Melitai Buddha Maranem Ki. Marita Vinasha. We are blessed. Shlama laki Mariam shlama shlama laki Mariam shlama. Melitai Buddha Maranem Ki. Melitai Buddha Maranem Ki. Marita Vinasha. Marita Vinasha. Shlama laki Mariam shlama shlama laki Mariam shlama.
Wow, just really so deeply touching. Thank you for bringing this to us this morning. I'm grateful.
My pleasure.
Okay, Pat, I'm going to hand the screen over to you now for our time of abundance. Thank you.
Oh, that was so beautiful, the reminder that light is within us and all around us. so perfect as a lead-in to realizing that the beauty and graciousness of the one spirit, the one energy. So I invite you now to join me as we move into a space of oneness with spirit. We quiet our minds and open to the great realization of an abundant universe. Excuse me, Kalyani, could you? Thank you. Oh, deep breaths. We quiet our minds and open to the great realization of an abundant universe. We connect with an inner stillness that is grounded in the divine flow of giving and receiving. We practice gratitude for all that life gives us and accept there is more coming our way. We align and operate from our divine nature to give freely from a compassionate heart to ourselves and others, assured we are never void. We set our intention to engage in right action that attracts opportunities to prosper. We are each a very grateful spirit. Expanding in this human life. We are gratefully succeeding in stepping forward into greater good. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Pat. Thank you for your heart. We love and appreciate you. And lots of love coming in for the music this morning. Kalyani Michael J says, the music feels and sounds so sacred and comforting. Thank you so much. And I know that he speaks for all of us. So thank you for closing out with our last song now. We appreciate you. And you are on mute. So if you could unmute. I would unmute you if I could, but they took that power away.
I don't know how that happened. I muted my microphone. Not from the computer, but it didn't mute. Can you hear me? Oh, you can't hear me? You can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you now. Wonderfully.
now
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I decided I would end with a tunes that I wrote a while back, and it seems still relevant. It's called "The Reign of the Heart," because I feel that we are at the end of an era, and it is, I think, spring equinox as well, right? Today, St. Patty's Day took spring equinox, and I'm going to end with, at the end there'll be some alaha there, which means sacred oneness in Aramaic. Alaha. I dig myself out of the hole that I dug, wash myself clean of the lies I believed all my life. I have the tools to take back what is mine. I have what I'm seeking when I just go inside. It's the end of an era, and who am I now? Now that it's clear, I will never be the same again. Takes the end of an era to begin a new life. Thank you, my helpers. I'm opening my heart to the light. And every day, this is where I begin. Straight to the source of all love. the source of all light. I have the tools to help me align. I am what I'm seeking when I just go inside. Takes the end of an era to begin a new life. Thank you, my helpers. I'm opening my heart to the light. At the end of an era, there is transformation. Gather together, the time has come for faith and trust. Birthing a new earth with faith and trust. At the end of an era, there is transformation, gathering together as one. It's the end of an era, and the time to unite has come. It's the end of an era, and the reign of the heart has begun. It's the end of an era, we are free to unite as one. It's the end of an era, and the reign of the heart has begun. Allah, sacred one, oneness. Allah, sacred one, oneness. Allah, sacred one, oneness. Amen.
So absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing yourself to us this morning. What is the best way for people to connect with you, Kalyani, if they want more of your music?
Well, the Aramaic chants are on Bandcamp. There's just
Okay.
it's just like each line sung as a mantra. I'm up to line 6, and then there's SoundCloud. Just KALYANI MARSH on SoundCloud, and you can listen to a lot of different songs there.
Thank you. We're so grateful for you. Thank you both,
So happy to be
Kalyani
with
and
you.
Pat, for activating our space and sharing your essence, just bringing your divine spirits to us. We're very, very grateful and appreciate you.
Grateful for
Blessings, my
you.
loves. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, I am here, Fred, and he arrived. And for those of you just getting to know Fred, Dr. Fred Luskin, let me tell you just a little bit about him. He is the author of the best-selling Forgive for Good and Forgive for Love, and one of the world's leading researchers and teachers on the subject of forgiveness. He is the director of the Stanford Forgiveness Projects, a series of research projects that have validated his forgiveness methods. He is a lecturer in wellness at the Stanford University School of Medicine and department chair of clinical psychology at the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology. And more than that, he is an absolutely wonderful divine being, dear, dear friend, and just a person who brings such presence and essence to the world and blesses everybody he comes in contact with. I'm going to pray us in and then hand the screen over. So I invite you to just really move into this sacred space with us right now, and perhaps take an inhale, an inward breath of the spirit. Feel your lungs fill up, invoking the one great source of splendor, the essence of who we are, tuning into the magnificence and the presence of God, and lean into now the knowing that we are a unique spark of the universe, and we are one with this intelligent divine mind of God, grateful as the power and presence pours in through and as each one of us, and just enveloping Fred in our gratitude, our thanksgiving, as we move into a receptive space to hear the goodness and the godness of the message that flows through him today to us as our gift. With grace and gratitude, I release this word in love, knowing that the law of the divine is perfect in its execution. And so it is. Ashe. Amen. Namaste, Fred. Thank you for being with us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Amy. It's always nice to see you. Um, I'm in the foothills of the Sierras as I talk to you all. I'm at a yoga retreat where I do teaching, and one of the things that struck me was earlier this week I was in Florida giving a talk for a business, a financial services company, and I walked into their room and it was successful. I think everybody in that room was either a vice president or a director, and they were big shots and wealthy. I mean, they were doing well. But when I walked in, I could not believe their level of distraction and their level of physical lack of quiet. It was tangible. It was very interesting that I walked in and nobody is sitting still. Nobody. And everyone is like their eyes and their minds and their hands were like darting all over the place. And they were in the middle of a big meeting. I mean, it wasn't like, it's not like they had a dog and two kids crawling around them. It was almost business as normal. And I thought to myself, wow, like this is normative and these are successful people. And then I walked into the last night and this morning, I gave talks at this yoga retreat. And people were really able to sit still. And they were able to focus their attention. They didn't require like constant eye movements and constant something. And I was reflecting upon like how unusual now it is to see people who can focus their attention. And how rare it is to see somebody sit still. And it's interesting to be what any of us are trying to do here is to get people to connect with their spirit. But you can't connect with your spirit if you can't sit still. And you can't connect with your spirit if you can't focus your attention. It's one of the severe downsides of doing this Zoom stuff is people on the receiving end of the Zoom stuff, research suggests, are almost always multitasking. That we use this as an opportunity to do the 14 other things that we didn't get to. But you can't really connect with spirit unless you're quiet. And not just spirit, it's very hard to connect with your own better self. And yet we're awash, all of us, in a distracted world where we're often, not just often, usually multitasking. And this is, it's not necessarily a criticism, it's just a commentary about how hard it is now to quiet and touch whatever it is inside of us that needs to be touched to remind us that we're in a big world with a lot that we don't understand, and there's a tremendous mystery, and that mystery has something to teach us. And I notice myself like grabbing my phone all over the place. And how rarely it is that I'm just sitting and thinking. And how rare it is that I'm not restless for diversion and entertainment and something else to occupy my mind. It's quite it's quite a challenge to like allow ourselves to sit and just feel whatever it is we're feeling. Just feel like there's no imperative. There's not always somewhere to go. There's not something better to do. There's just us in our experience in life. And from the point of view of speaking to a church, like we can't hear whatever the spiritual message is multitasking. You can't do it. I mean, you can hear the words, you can't hear the message. You can't, because your brain is threatened. You only multitask when you're scared. I mean, you don't multitask because you want to miss out on life. You multitask because you're frightened, anxious that you're not going to get enough done, or that you're not sufficient, or whatever. I mean, and some of it's very helpful. If you got a kid that you're caring for in somewhere, and you need to send them a text while you're watching the broadcast here, that's useful. But if you're generally just distracted, you're probably wasting your time attending the broadcast because it's not going to come in. You're not going to be able to hear it from a place of safety where it can be absorbed. It's just so hard in our current hurry and worry culture to touch a place in us that's safe. It feels vulnerable, and it's designed to sit still and just feel. It's hard. It's always hard. It's always been hard. We just now have put that difficulty on steroids. It's like, but it's always been hard for human beings. There's, great philosophers who have said, like the hardest thing a human being can do is just sit with their own thoughts. And we do almost anything to run from that. But now we've made it institutionalized. I had a friend of mine who we were going to teach together in Hawaii, I don't know, a few years ago. And I was coming from San Francisco, and he was coming from New York. And we're talking on text to each other, when's your plane leaving? And his plane was going to leave at like 10 in the morning, and mine was going to leave like 4 in the afternoon. And we both were going to show up reasonably similar time in Honolulu. And at 10, we're connecting, and he said, the plane's delayed a little bit. So we're still texting and talking. And then at noon, he sends me a text that his flight has been canceled, that the pilots have timed out because it's a long trip and they couldn't fly anymore. So they got everybody off the plane, and he had to sit there till midnight. Like, so the pilots could go home and rest, because I think it was Hawaiian Air, and they don't have any spare pilots in New York. So they had to send these pilots to a hotel. And my friend lives in New Jersey, and yeah, he didn't want to go home So he stayed at the airport, but he told me that, you got 200 people kicked off a plane to Hawaii and nobody talked to each other. They all just went into their little corners and read their phone or watched movies or, were interacting with their technology, all separate. And part of it was him watching with kind of amusement because I'd be thinking, I mean, I'm not that sanguine. I'd be thinking, wow, I have 12 hours to entertain myself and then another 10 hours on a plane to entertain myself. That's a lot of entertainment. But he watched and almost nobody communicated. And very few people simply sat. They were on their phones, or they were on their iPads, or they were on their computers, because that's how we engage with the world. Again, this is not meant as an anti-technology thing. This is meant as an acknowledgement of what it takes to be ready to hear whatever message spirit might have for you. It does not come from busyness. It can come from activity where you're well focused. If you're doing one thing with attention, that's none of this. But it's the mindlessness that is so omnipresent and leads to discomfort in so many of us. We don't have that peace and connection that we might like. So let me just do a short meditation practice, and then I'm going to go on to another just brief topic. But I wanted to just remind all of us to let go of distraction for a moment and open oneself up to some higher intelligence. You need the both. You can't just pray. You can. I just don't think it's as effective to praise for God's blessing without paying attention. You make the communication garbled. So what I'd like you all to do is just for like a minute, close your eyes. Those of you out there, just please close your eyes. And just sit comfortably. Comfortably and quietly. And allow yourself to come inward. Allow yourself to come inward, bring your attention to your center. Just bring your attention inward to your center. And just allow your breathing to center. There's the key quality is there's nothing you have to do. And whatever it is that makes you want to run, which there will be, just sit still. Your mind will want to run and hide or distract, and just sit. And allow your breathing to slow and deepen. That's the simplest contribution you can make to centeredness and an openness. Just allow your breathing to gentle and deepen. So if you can, relax with the inhale, relax with the exhale. It's just safe and soft and comfortable. And then take a breath or two, very gently bring your attention back with a slow, deep breath and gently allow your eyes to open. It's just a moment, but I think as a whole culture, we have lost the value or are losing the value of sitting still and centering rather than grabbing. And it's a different form of intelligence. When you just sit still and center, you have a different connection to intelligence. And when you grab, you have a different connection to intelligence. It's not like one is smart and one is stupid. It's just different. But certainly my experience is how unbalanced it is now. That we're way out of alignment with balance. And so it becomes harder for us to hear the spirit. And that's all I'm trying to say. It's not a rant against technology. It's harder to hear the spirit when you can't quiet. And if you're practicing day in and day out, practice, practice, practice in distraction, then you're practicing taking yourself away from that spirit's voice. And we get what we practice. And that's all I was trying to say. We get what we practice. So bring some care to practicing a little more of quieting and centering and openness. Openness. We go on our phone all the time to get answers and get distraction and get this and get that. But sometimes we just need to sit with questions and curiosity, because that's a different form of intelligence. Anyway, I do have to go. I always like talking to this church. Amy, it's always lovely to see your face.
I'm so grateful
And I
for
thank
you, Fred. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that message to us today. And we're just so grateful for your wisdom and that you're willing to share it with us and come into our space and bring your essence. We love you. We appreciate you. Have a beautiful drive back from Grass Valley. I know you have a little bit of a trip now, so I'll be in touch with you this week. Yeah. Oh, you're on mute. You're muted, so I didn't hear you. Oh, I think you said goodbye. Wow. Hi, everybody. What a message for us this morning, and it just brought me back to some of the things I shared about the journey with Jesus 2 weeks ago. I lost track of time. 2 weeks ago, and one of the messages that I shared that Jesus wants to come alongside us to support is meditation. And remember, I said, sometimes I feel like a broken record because I'm I'm always saying meditation, meditation. And there's a reason, I mean, Jesus was really a pillar of this message, to get still, to become quiet, to hear God, to hear source, to receive the download, right? And so I appreciate that Fred brought this piece to us today, and he was there facilitating a yoga retreat, I think is what he said. And so a different way, different energy from the other event that he spoke about participating with all the CEOs or whatever that was, and all the distraction there. And just a reminder for us, because this isn't new, right? This isn't like, oh, this is the first time we've ever heard this. We're all going, yeah, we know, right? And yet there's always space for us to grow into this even more deeply. If you already have a meditation practice, you already have time where you sit quietly, we can continue to deepen that. I know only very few people that really have a focused, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Very determined, do not come off course with their meditation practice. I don't know if Dennis is on here right now with us, but he's one of them where he sits for 2 hours a day, regardless of anything else going on with his life or the world. 2 hours of sitting in the stillness. And I know that's a lot of time for some of us who are thinking, 2 hours. And yet, even if we could give that 2 minutes, if you're having no experience of this stillness, quiet meditation time in your life, even 2 minutes a day adding to your life could make really profound differences. Baby steps, right? I call these amygdala hacks. So sometimes our brain, and this is, and Fred spoke to this a little bit. We're in this culture, he said, of losing the value of sitting still and centering, versus this grabbing at everything that we have to do, right? Um, and I'm the queen of a to-do list, so I can speak to this. that finding the balance, becoming centered in the spirit, is the only way to really function health in a healthy way. And not sort of get consumed into this. I feel like it's like quicksand is the image I get, quicksand of pulling us into this busyness. And what are some of the words that Fred used? This mindlessness. He said we can't connect with the spirit if you can't sit still and become quiet. You can't hear the words of God. You can't hear the message. In that quiet, the mystery has something to teach us and tell us. When we're multitasking, usually that's an indication of we're anxious or we're frightened or we're in that survival state, right? The fight, flight, uh, and it could even be freeze at times. But that doingness, and that's why here we really want to always bring the focus back to our being, our beingness. Yeah. So he was talking about if you're on the live stream, uh, but you're wasting your time on here if you're doing 12 other things because you're not really here. When I pray into our space, that's the intention there, is to really hold and activate the space for us to center in, to tune in, to say, I am here for the divine download. I'm becoming in receptive mode. And that's really important, I think, is sometimes we need that guidance, right? Just to like guide ourselves back to center. So that's okay. It's all okay. I love this conversation. Let me check in with you. Talk to me, everybody. Michael J. had said, wow, these experiences of resistance to being still and quiet, I'm filled with empathy. I'm grateful for loving being with me and God. Yeah, thank you for sitting and noticing that, Michael J, and sharing that. I think that's really an important and potent piece of our spiritual community, is to share, and that way nobody is feeling alone in this journey. It's like, oh yeah, I get that too. it's practice, right? To be able to learn, train ourselves to be in that stillness. Michael J said, so good it landed so easy in my being. Peace, be still and know. Yes, be still and know. Superpower is in the present moment. Simply follow the breath. Yes, you know all about that. Pat says, so simple, yet the key. Indeed. Hi, Mom. My mom's here. Love to see you here. She says, it takes discipline. It does. That is right. That's true. And it's like you become what you practice. And Fred said something, he don't think he said exactly that way, but I say it that way. If you practice distraction, then that's what you're going to experience. We get what we practice, is what he said. So bring some care to quieting, taking time to quiet and center and focus, because a lot of us are living unbalanced. And he said something to the effect that we know is true. Depending on whether we're centering or grabbing or doing all this doing, we will have a different connection to intelligence. We'll get different messages, different downloads, depending on the space that we're in, or the receptive space we're in. So Jennifer says, it's always good to be reminded of what supports us to live more fully into the truth of who we are. Love, we are what we practice, bringing mindfulness to all that we focus on. Thank you. That's what I was just trying to find in my notes. Love how that works out. Synchronicities are divine, I say. They're not just random. Michael J says, yes, yes, thank you for that, Amy. I love being in prayer with you. I feel it. Thank you. Thank you for entering that space. It's an invocation, and really important to create that space in our lives too, in your morning, in your mealtime. You bless your food. I know some people that might bring up like childhood memories that might not feel good, but really, what an important piece of life to be in gratitude for your nourishment. And so often skipped over. And just in that moment, in the moment of prayer and being in thanksgiving about what's nourishing us is so potent. I mean, I'll just share this because Fred was just on here with us this morning, but we meet regularly. We're friends, and we met him and had brunch last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever I was in the Bay. And no matter where we go, no matter where we meet, we always bless our food. We always pray before we eat. And I don't know if maybe a rare occasion we've actually said words, but just being there in the silence, really being in gratitude. And he is one of the people that I have experienced will stay in that silence the longest with me, sort of like matches the space of gratitude. So why am I sharing this? Because it's just something that skipped over and it's an easy spot. So what I want to say about it is that to begin to practice these moments of being centered and aligned and opening up to the downloads of God, source energy of spirit, we need to practice is about implementing. Where are we implementing? And a lot of times with our brains, the way we work, we get busy, right? And so it's like find the spots where no matter what that's happening in your life, so you can go, oh yeah, that's right. I pray, or I bless my food, or I go into a space of gratitude before I eat, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm eating. Even if I'm opening a granola bar in the car, I take a moment and feel the gratitude of this nourishment blessing my body. And you're also blessing your body and your cells and your health in that way. And so that's a great way. That's a great little, and it's not a long silent meditation for 2 hours, yet you do that every day before you eat something. And maybe that's 3 times a day. Maybe that's 5 snacks a day. I don't know. But now you're in a practice. Now you're in a practice of getting quiet and still, even if it's 30 seconds, even if it's 10 seconds. It's better than nothing, people. So I say celebrate wins, all of the wins. Okay. I'm chatty. So let's see what we've got here. Kira says, such good reminder as I put my laundry away and multitask. I will sit still next time and more often. Thank you. Making meditation moments throughout your day. I think some people call this moving meditations, whatever you call it, name it whatever you want. It really is a way to create more of the space in your life. I remember when I lived in the Bay Area, we had a tree in our backyard, and I would sweep the leaves every morning, and it was such a practice of sweeping. Even when you're mopping your floors, you can incorporate your moving meditations into, and I guess that is sort of multitasking because you're doing something. But if you really tune in to a centered space, and I think that's where the moving meditation comes from, the phrase. It really can be a very quiet, centered space. Carol says, I totally resonate with this message of peace and stillness. Yes. Michael J says, being intelligent is being with myself. Great here. Yes. John says, very mindful here in the center of my pyramid, surrounded by theta waves and connected to earth and light. Yes. Yeah, you have a beautiful setup, John, for tuning in and tuning within and being in a meditative space. If you can create a space, I have an altar. And it's like my brain just knows when I sit here, it becomes an automatic knowing, like, here I am. Here I am. I'm available to hear. Carol says, yes, I'm learning to be more present and aware and connected. Meditation moments, meditation in motion. Marianne says, I love to pray over my food and raise the vibration and gratitude. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. I will actually stop eating my food if I'm in a space of low vibration, let's say, or people start talking at the table of not high vibrating topics or gossip or something like that, because I feel the energy. I don't want to consume that through food. So there's a little with feng shui that incorporates some of that, but there's so many pieces of knowledge and wisdom out there that we can tune into, tap into. And so just know that you will find what's right for you. And all you need to do is just take those moments to stay curious and stay in openness about what works for me. What are the best times for me to sit still and quiet, and perhaps it's not in certain moments or with certain times of the day. Your body energetically. When is a best time for me? So this was a beautiful conversation, and it comes back to the journey with Jesus, because Jesus's journey was about going away to get still and hear God. Yeah. And so Jesus wants to be alongside of us with this, support us in that. And if you find it difficult, or it doesn't come so easy, says just keep at it. That was from the Course in Miracles and the share that I gave a couple weeks ago. Just keep at it, and I will be by your side. And Michael J says, I love being still and feeling love's embrace. Carol says, thank you for sharing your practice and inviting us to do what works best for us. Yeah, I mean, and that's why I think shares are important, because might not resonate with you what somebody else shares about what they do. However, it could spark another idea, or just open you to space. Well, that sounds good. What would work for me? And yeah, you become who you practice. And I have said many times over the last few months too, is like, if I didn't have my foundation, my life, my spiritual practice, which is my life, the events of my life, which actually began 6 months ago today. Today is March 17th, which marks exactly 6 months from Mitch's accident, which was September 17th. In fact, he had been right here on Zoom with us, or on Facebook Live, and then in our workshop on Zoom that day. Those of you who were with in that workshop that day, that was the last time we all saw him alive. including me. So, yeah, because then he logged off and he got on his motorcycle. And so all that to say that if I didn't have my foundation, if my body and mind and soul didn't know, like when I go to my knees at my altar, like there is God, I don't know how my life would have looked in the last 6 months. Really, probably much more difficult, um, I would think. And not that it hasn't been, have its challenges, this journey, but my spiritual practice is what has helped me. And I think that's why it's so important and why I continue to reiterate it for your life, because we practice so that when things show up, we are ready. We are ready to just to hear God's voice in those moments when things might get a little bit more challenging. And even in the moments when they're not more challenging, when we're at total peace, we want more of that. So it's like, okay, what's the message for me today? And that's really what it is. How am I here to serve? How am I here to show up as a servant for the goodness, godness of this life? And when we slow down to listen, we can get that message. I love you all so much. Carol says, oh my goodness. Michael J says, yes, yes. You are the workshop, Amy. Thank you. I know it's just it's coming today. I feel in gratitude for all of you being here, participating in this conversation and being still. I feel your presence, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful experience. So thank you for energetically being in support of our center, of the messages here. Thank you. Thank you for sharing in your way what you do to co-create this space. It's felt, it's important. We thrive because of you. So thank you, thank you. So today we are not going to close with the prayer of divine awakening. I have, hopefully it's here, a treat. I would like to close with an Irish blessing. As I said, I have deep Irish roots. And so since it is St. Patrick's Day, it seems fitting. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Let's close with this Irish blessing. Let me share it to my screen and invite you to be here now with this Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. And so it is, precious beings. Shine on, bright ones. Have a beautiful week. I will see you here next week, same time, same place. It's a date. Remember, the connection link is open, the Zoom link, if you want to go in there and see who's there. That's on our homepage, unityinspiredliving.org, and you can Zoom right in there. I love you all. I bless you all. Thank you for being here, for sharing yourselves. So very, very grateful.